We're seeing how well these rock and roll fans truly know their facts with one of the hardest trivia challenges ever.
Yay!
Woo-hoo! That'll have you questioning everything you've ever believed about these iconic rock songs.
I'm already questioning.
I feel like I want to like flip my hair.
We've got a whole host of facts. Some are true and some are false.
That's my false noise.
That's a good false noise.
If you can convince everybody that your false fact is true, you get a point. But if they can sniff out that you're lying, they get a point. If you convince everyone that your true fact is true, everybody gets a point.
Yeah!
This round is all about your favorite rock songs from the 2000s onwards.
I'm sure we're all familiar with Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon, is about a regretful incident where lead singer Caleb Followill got an STD from a hookup.
Oh.
Unfortunate. That's why the sex is on fire. It was both really hot and pee hurt. Ow.
Oh.
Why are you a liar?
Why are you so mean to me?
The eyebrows.
What do these eyebrows speak to you?
I'm just going to support my answer of it being true because you need experiences to write songs.
That is true, you do.
And I think like, you know, everyone has good sex, hopefully, at some point in their life.
I thought you were gonna say everybody catches an STD.
Everybody knows that.
It happens.
So I'm saying
That's life.
that to write a song that's explicitly this sex is on fire, there has to be something really to like drive that.
True. And I will say the specific lyric is hot as a fever, rattling bones.
Oh.
That is symptoms you would unfortunately sense.
Is there a line that says it burns when I pee?
Sort of. The sex is on fire.
Well, I'm not peeing when I have sex.
You're alone in that. If we want more lyrics, I can give them.
Yeah.
Feeling it. Yeah.
The head while I'm driving, well, driving.
Yeah.
Soft lips are open, knuckles are pale, feels like you're dying. Symptoms.
Oh. Actually, I think I'm gonna change my answer.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
I smell lies.
No, it's false.
Unfortunately, Izzy, you failed to convince them. It is indeed false.
Did.
Sex on Fire was actually just like a nonsense phrase that they used as a placeholder, always intending to replace it with something else. And these days, now that they're all dads, they use like socks on fire in place.
Stop it, really?
Socks on fire!
I feel like it was one of those songs where everybody, like that was the rumor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it wasn't actually the case. I feel like I just heard it, you know?
Evanescence's label forced them to add a male rapping vocal onto Bring Me to Life.
Is there a guy that raps in the song?
Wake me up! Wake me up! Can't wake up!
Oh.
Evanescence is a band. It's not just Amy Lee, but she is like the front woman.
She's the lead singer, right?
Yes.
But they wanted her
But
to add
the
male.
rapper is not, I don't think, a part
Is
of
he
the
a part
band
of
itself.
Evanescence?
No, he was a guest vocal.
I mean, it'd probably be better if he wasn't in the song, to be honest.
Speak on it, Nick.
Wake me up, wake me up. It's like, okay, dude, back off.
That's really
sad
powerful, Nick.
I'm gonna say it's false.
False.
She's telling the truth.
True.
What?
It was characteristic of like the rock scene at the time in the early aughts where just like there weren't a lot of like women-fronted acts. It was actually a compromise because the label wanted them to have 8 songs on their album have rapping on them.
Yep.
And so during an interview, the singer Amy Lee stated that it was presented to me as, you're a girl singing in a rock band. There's nothing else like that out there. Nobody's gonna listen to you. You need a guy to come in and sing backup for it to be successful.
Yep.
To be fair, I mean, it was super successful.
This is 100% true.
You're already lying.
That sounds great. Fall Out Boy named their song Thanks for the Memories without any vowels because their record company asked for a shorter name.
What did it used to be?
It was still Thanks for the Memories, but the title instead like it goes THNK. There's no A.
Memories?
Yeah.
All vowels are removed.
Right.
I think
And wouldn't
that they
believe
had to
you.
shorten it, but I think it was probably because it wouldn't fit on the album.
What would be another reason they took out the vowel?
To be cool.
That's literally how you spell things on MySpace.
I don't think it was for the reason you gave.
I say that's not the case because in that same album, there were songs that were longer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I also
Is that
think
album?
that they just wanted people to talk about it.
I'm gonna say false.
I'm gonna say false.
I also say false.
Unfortunately, it is true.
Well, damn. You have a liar's face.
I am at fault for the repercussions of my own actions.
What actions?
They know
Just
me
the general
as like this
reputation that you've built.
gaslighter.
Oh.
So everything I say is just like lie,
the action
lie.
on the side
yeah,
is
yeah,
rude.
yeah.
It was in jest as a bit of a sarcastic joke to their label, who did ask them to have some shorter song titles, so they disemboweled it by taking out all the vowels.
Disemboweled it.
That's a good pun.
So fact number 2, Oxford comma, we're all familiar with it, correct? Fantastic. By Vampire Weekend was inspired by Rossman Manji's frustrating internship at Oxford English Dictionary.
Who gives a fuck about an Oxford comma? I've seen those English dramas too. They're cool.
Do y'all know what an Oxford comma is?
Yeah, it's an comma. No, I'm just kidding.
I literally had to research what is an Oxford comma and why does he hate this, and it was like, oh, they made this song because he got fired from his internship at Oxford Dictionary. An Oxford comma is the last comma that you put before the word and on making a list.
It's a very proper style of comma that.
That's how I always do it.
Yes, but some people don't do it.
So he was mad, which drove him to write the song, which I think is pretty.
Because he wanted to say who gives a about the Oxford Dictionary. Didn't roll off the tongue.
Right.
The Oxford comma. Same thing. Subtle cue.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna say false because I believe in run-on sentences.
I'm gonna say true.
I don't believe anything Doug says, so.
This is false. Rostam did have an internship at the Oxford English Dictionary. That part is true, but it was actually inspired by frontman Ezra Koenig's time at Columbia University, where he saw a Facebook group that was called Students for the Preservation of the Oxford Comma. And he was like, this is so pretentious and stupid.
That was actually a news
That is
article.
hilarious.
I remember that now. That's so funny.
Doc, thank you very much. Now it is time for Jillian.
There's a lot of speculation about who Misery Business by Paramore is about, but Hayley Williams recently confirmed it was about fellow bandmate Josh Farrow.
Whoa, what makes
To break and what I want it now, yeah.
I'm pretty sure this song is about Travis Barker.
Oh!
I heard this in the tabloid back when like MTV was a thing, and I was like, I don't
But what
know
if
that's
that one was the
music.
rumor?
But that was
That's the truth.
old, and she recently confirmed it was about her fellow bandmate, Josh Farrow.
I heard it was about Steven Tyler. She had a crush on the Aerosmith lead man.
He's
Who's
older.
like, what, 50 years older than her? Yeah, definitely.
The only thing that made me say no is because you said recently. I heard that rumor a while ago.
I guess recently was actually in 2020.
Oh,
That's
okay.
when she revealed. And I feel like she would obviously, like, because the song was such a hit, she would have to keep that quiet. Because, like, you know, if you're playing with your band and you
Yeah.
have a crush on your band member, and then in 2020 she reveals it about the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Why would she do it in 2005 or 2006 when they're all like on tour and they're doing publicity like shoots and things?
So Nick is stating it false.
I also am saying false.
I didn't want to say true, just like from something in my little emo heart, like vaguely remembers this.
This Paramore fact is true.
Wow.
Trust your emo heart. Trust your emo heart.
She did confirm in 2020 that it was about fellow bandmate Josh Farrow, but you know, there's been speculation and rumors about who it was about for a really long time. And I believe she and Josh Farrow did date for like a couple years.
Yes, it almost broke them up. This is why I remember it.
Recently, she was allegedly dating her other band member, Taylor York.
Haim turned down the opportunity to record backing vocals on Arctic Monkeys' Do I Wanna Know because they didn't want the first time people heard them sing to be as faceless support for an all-male band.
It would have been good because I have no idea who they are.
Really?
So maybe-
Basically, they were releasing their own music and they had this opportunity to record backing vocals with Arctic Monkeys, but they didn't want it to be for an all-male band. So
Do you know the song?
Do they have background vocals on it?
The song does have these light, kind of airy vocals backing it,
But they also turned it down, which means they didn't do that.
according to Jillian's fact.
at that same time, they were recording their own stuff too.
My answer is she's telling the truth. Good job.
I think she's telling the truth. I'm gonna go with false just for fun.
I think this one is false.
False. Yes! They were offered the opportunity, but they were unable to do it because they were too busy recording their own debut album. But Esty Haim told NME that it would have been a dream come true to be on an Arctic Monkeys record, and she regrets being busy, basically. She was like, it was one of the most painful calls to say no, maybe one of the worst days of my life.
American Idiot, written by the popular American band Green Day, was written after Billie Joe Armstrong, lead singer, heard That's How I Like It by Lynyrd Skynyrd on the radio and was like, this is exactly what I'm against. It's actually a more recent song from Lynyrd Skynyrd. I had to look it up. It's from 2003. It's almost like a poppy song, to be honest.
Where I come, it's grits and gravy, not champagne and caviar. Got pickup trucks. There is no Mercedes. That's who we are. Ooh.
Oh yeah, wouldn't change a thing. I ain't no saint, sometimes a sinner, and I can't tell you why.
So you're telling me I Don't Want to Be an American Idiot was inspired by that?
Everything he stands against.
Yeah,
is
Lynyrd
the-
Skynyrd
Oh,
song.
got it.
Lynyrd Skynyrd.
That does make a little more sense. He heard it on the radio and was like, girl, what the hell?
That's not
No.
us at all. He's telling the truth. I believe in my brother.
I could see that happening.
I think it's false. I think that song wasn't that, like, powerful for him.
Turns out Nick was telling the truth.
No!
I mean, Green Day hates all that stuff, so it made sense to me.
Basically, Billy Joe Armstrong was like, he heard that song and he was like, wow, this is everything that I'm not in this current moment, or like that I don't want to be in this current moment in America. But songwriter Mike Dirnt was also like, this might be a little too aggressive. And so they wrote it not to be sort of finger waggy of like, don't be that way, but rather for it to be more of like a call to individuality.
Tom Petty sued the Strokes for their song Last Night because it took the structure from his hit song American Girl.
Didn't P. Diddy sing Last Night with Keisha Cole?
Last night she said, oh, maybe don't feel so now. But then you know American Girl, though.
She was
An American girl.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same song. It's the same structure.
Same
American
same
Girl.
form.
Do you believe it?
I do.
Yeah.
I do not.
Whoa.
I smell a liar.
Is false.
Eat it!
It does have the same structure, but they did not get sued.
Oh, he just let it ride?
Yeah.
Yeah. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Tom Petty was like, oh yeah, I heard them admit that they stole the riff from American Girl, and he was just kind of like, yeah, good for you, like whatever, it didn't bother him. How do you feel about your score?
I feel sensational about how I performed last round. Not really, I'm lying, but you didn't tell.
I feel weird about how I did. I don't know. We'll see.
The scores are pretty close and it's still anybody's game, so let's move on to round 2, which is all about rock songs from the 90s.
The song Where Is My Mind is inspired by the frontman Black Francis's experience visiting an aquarium while tripping and then getting seafood afterwards.
I'm gonna say this is true because the Pixies are a Seattle band, and a lot of times you might trip actually and go to the aquarium.
So I do have a lyric that I think is really funny. It says, animals were hiding behind a rock except the little fish. I swear he was trying to talk to me.
I don't see why it would be false, so I believe it to be true.
I mean, I feel like it's gonna be false, but I hope it's true.
Are you
It's on
ready
the
to
truth.
find out? It's false. She gotcha!
Boom, 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 boom.
It was written by the frontman's experiences with fish, but it was actually while he attended the University of Massachusetts. It was inspired by his experiences scuba diving, for which he was not tripping.
I wanted it to be true. I mean, I think if you live in Seattle and you partake in certain activities, you go to the aquarium. It's a
I mean, it
beautiful
makes
aquarium.
sense.
It's phenomenal.
I did lie a little bit about the lyrics. The actual lyrics is, I was swimming in the Caribbean, animals were hiding behind a rock, except the little fish bumped into me. I swear he was trying to talk
It's
to
a
me.
lie by omission, sure.
I just didn't have the part of being in the Caribbean. Kurt Cobain did not know that Teen Spirit was a deodorant brand when he wrote Smells Like Teen Spirit.
What?
I said what I said, girl.
Name 3 scents in Teen Spirit, please.
Clean sheets, pomegranate apple, kiwi strawberry.
Smells
Teen
like
Spirit
Teen
is an
Spirit.
actual brand of deodorant.
He wasn't inspired by the song. He named it this and then later found out that there was a deodorant with that same name.
Yeah, he had no idea. The actual deodorant itself was very popular.
I feel like he was always kind of like that, you know, like it smells like Teen Spirit, like poppy, yuck, you know, because he's a garage band.
If it is based off the deodorant, it could be a big party. Everyone's wearing Teen Spirit because, and then you just smell it.
Similar to
Smells
how
like Teen
Axe took
Spirit.
over in the 2000s, Teen Spirit was just the smell of like a general high school.
Correct.
I feel like it's true, but I'm gonna say false.
He sounds true.
I think it's false.
This fact is true.
Yeah.
Kathleen Hanna of Bikini Kill was friends with Kurt Cobain's girlfriend at the time, and that day she'd been at a grocery store and discovered the deodorant Teen Spirit, and so they were just going around that day saying that things like smelled like Teen Spirit. And so Kathleen Hanna graffitied the phrase, Kurt Cobain smells like Teen Spirit onto the wall, but he thought they were just alluding to like his rebellious spirit.
Or
And
like
then-
she made it up.
Yeah.
American Woman was improvised by Lenny Kravitz live on stage.
I'm gonna say false.
He was performing in Canada.
False.
Okay, cool. In Southern Ontario. And someone in the front row was just like, oh, she's from America. He's like, oh, where's everybody from? She was American Woman. And the like lead guitarist was just like strumming and he's doing like crowd work. He's like, oh, I'm from America. And he's like, oh, American Woman, stay away from me. And then they just kept like going. And he's like, this is actually a little bit of a banger. And they turned into a song.
Can you sing it for us?
Look up the lyrics. Oh yeah, it goes, American Woman, stay away from me. American Woman.
That's pretty fire.
So it was improv.
He improv'd it and then later went back and then turned it into a
recorded
real
it.
song. Yeah.
I'm feeling false.
I'm feeling false.
Feeling false.
False.
That song actually was improvised on stage in Ontario, but by a different band.
American Woman is actually a cover that Lenny Kravitz did for, I think, the Austin Powers movie, but it's originally by a band called Guess Who, but it was improvised on stage, just not by Lenny Kravitz.
Guess Who, not to be confused with The Who.
While Noel Gallagher wrote Wonderwall for his then girlfriend, he was gonna break up with her. So he had his brother, Liam Gallagher, sing it instead. That's just a good brother to
Did
me.
they break up before or after the song was released?
He wrote it while they were still, like, in love.
Interesting, because they were super competitive. You know what I mean? They
guess-
broke up because they didn't get along, and then they like had disagreements. Like that, the reunion they just had was the first time in like 20 some odd years that they'd even played together. So I'd be curious
Who, the
if he would,
brothers?
yeah, I'd
Yeah.
be curious if he would give it to his brother to sing.
If it helps in same comparison to that, there were 2 songs that they were recording at the time. So they said, whichever song you're singing, I'm singing the other one.
What was the other
The
song?
other one was Don't Look Back in Anger.
Don't look back in anger.
The
I
other
heard her
really, really
say.
famous one. But, you know, he didn't want to sing the love song for his girlfriend that he was going to break up with.
I'm gonna say false now that I have that information because I feel like he would want Liam to sing Don't Look Back in Anger instead. You know what I mean? Because
we
Don't
know?
Look Back in Anger, I heard you say. That's the other song, right? So then Leah, I think it's reversed because Wonderwall is like, after all,
You're my Wonderwall. Guess you wasn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna say false.
I'm gonna go false.
I'm gonna go true, actually.
False.
Ah.
The story is basically that Noel just gave his brother a choice between Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger. There wasn't even really, oh, I feel this way about this song. He was just like, you're gonna sing one and I'll sing the other, so pick.
Pick.
And Liam ended up picking Wonderwall.
It feels more like what they would do. Like, I don't know, man, just pick it. I don't know.
Noel said in 1996 when they wrote the song that it was about his then girlfriend, future wife, but after they divorced in 2001, he was like, it wasn't about her.
It was about your ass.
Dolores O'Riordan wrote the lyrics to Linger by the Cranberries about her first serious kiss with a soldier she fell in love with at 17.
See, there's a lot of details there that any one of them could be. Not that she couldn't have been 17. It couldn't have been a soldier. It couldn't have been her first kiss.
It could have been a soldier because she wrote that other song in bombs and their bombs and their
Their
guns.
guns
That's
and
all
their
about
guns.
Ireland.
Zombie.
Ireland was fighting within
Zombie.
themselves
Zombie.
during that time. I'm gonna go with false, just because it sounds like it could be true because of the
Everything.
soldier and stuff. But it's like such an emotional song. It sounds like she really had a heartbreak with somebody. Can you read the lyrics for me?
I swore I would be true, and honey, so did you, so why were you holding her hand? Is that the way we stand? Were you lying all the time? Was it just a game to you?
Such a deep song.
She said it's about her first serious kiss with a soldier. Soldiers go back,
Yeah.
you never see them, you're off the base.
I'm gonna say false.
I'm also gonna say false.
I triple am going to say
You guys don't believe Jillian? It's true.
That's what I said.
Dude, see, stop listening to
Why
me. I might
don't
give
you just
history.
listen to me?
When there's that many
Yeah.
details, something was, to me, it's like, well, if there's like this and this and this and this, I was like, okay, so one of those details is wrong.
So the song Creep by Radiohead
Heard it.
almost didn't make it onto Radiohead's debut album because of a joke that the producers misinterpreted. In between rehearsals, someone made a joke that it was their Scott Walker song. He was a songwriter, but he wasn't like a big star. And maybe they were all coming up at the same time. And they thought that when someone said it sounded like a Scott Walker song, they just meant it sounded similar stylistically. That's what they meant. But the producers thought they meant that it was a direct cover of a Scott Walker song. So they were like, oh, well, we can't use that.
I don't think so.
You don't think it's true?
I think they knew it was going to be on the record no matter what.
I mean, if anything, I think they were maybe hesitant about it because it sounded so different.
Yeah.
But then they were like, yeah, we've all.
But you don't think Scott Walker is at all involved?
I don't know.
I'm tired of hearing about Scott Walker.
It looks like you all think that this fact about Radiohead is false. It is in fact true. Why do you think Jillian is a liar? She had 2 true facts.
I'm trying to provide you with all the evidence so you can base your opinion off
I think
the
it's just
facts.
unfortunately the facts themselves are so just like not believable. They're like, no, that's dumb. Why would that be that?
You're like, who's Scott Walker? Does he exist?
Exactly. Are you giving me a random name?
They were like trying and recording a bunch of songs, and then eventually one of the producers was like asking them to warm up by playing that song again and secretly recorded them in the recording studio, and everybody spontaneously burst into applause, and they were like we gotta find a way to do something like that. And then Radiohead was like, no, this is an original song. Like, it's ours. If you like it that much, we should do it.
Fact 1. The Goo Goo Dolls wrote Iris partially because they wanted to be on the soundtrack for City of Angels, you know, the Nick Cage movie. They wanted to be on the same soundtrack as Alanis Morissette, U2, and Peter Gabriel.
How does Iris go?
When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. Yeah, that's City of Angels. You don't know the movie, Nick Cage? He dies, I think, as a police officer, and then he comes back as an angel.
Whoa.
And talks to this woman, and she can only see him. Nobody else can see him as an angel, and he helps her, and then they fall in love.
This song was not written before. It was specifically written for the
For the movie, because here, these lyrics, and I don't want the world to see me, because I don't think they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. This, for sure, song was written for the movie. That is 100% a fact.
The idea that they heard basically who else was gonna be on the soundtrack, all these iconic artists, and they were like, us too, please.
I don't know.
I feel like maybe the song already blew up and then they were like, oh, this is perfect.
Well, the Goo Goo Dolls were already popular.
Right.
They had already come out, but they wrote Iris just for the soundtrack.
False.
I'm gonna say it was true, even though he broke eye contact, and I don't trust that.
I never lose eye contact.
You literally did this.
Well, you just broke it with me.
And then walked away.
So I will also go false.
Izzy, you're changing your answer because he broke eye contact with you?
Yeah.
That fact true.
Yeah, brother!
Doc's reading me like a book.
They, along with some other artists, were screened the film, and they were also just really inspired by the story. But then when they heard it's going to be also Alanis Morissette and U2 and Peter Gabriel, they were like, I wanted my name next to those names. That's pretty much what I expected that we would get out of it. But then it became even much bigger than just the song on the soundtrack itself.
Weezer frontman Rivers Cuomo had to convince producer Rick Ocasek to put Buddy Holly on the album because Ocasek didn't think it matched their similar style. Didn't think it would fit.
Rick Ocasek of The Cars, famously the producer on that album. Buddy Holly, possibly their biggest hit that blew them up.
Ooh, I look
Just like Buddy Holly. Oh, and you're Mary Tyler Moore.
I feel like they go through so many different phases of music and stuff. It'd be weird.
I mean, it is a little bit different.
This is the first album, first huge hit.
Okay. I was
They
like,
were
they've
not
had so
anybody
many
yet.
different faces.
This came out the same time Sweater. If you want to destroy my sweater.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 100% true.
You are such a squirrely little guy.
Squirrely. Like a chipmunk.
What do you say, Doc? Yeah, girl. Go ahead.
False!
I think I'm gonna go true, actually.
I think I'm gonna go false.
That fact is false. It's kind of true, though, in the sense that it's just flipped. Basically, Rivers did not want to put it on the album, and Rick Ocasek had to convince him to put it on the album. And he literally, left notes around the studio being like, we want Buddy Holly, and eventually convinced them to put it on.
We want Buddy Holly. We want Buddy Holly.
How do you feel like you did that round?
Yeah, I feel like I did great. They all think I'm liars.
I apparently didn't do too well. I thought I did fine.
As a guesser, I'm not sure. As a liar, I'm thriving.
Everyone thinks I'm a liar when I'm a truther.
Well, maybe you'll do better in our final round, which will cover everything prior to the 90s.
So my fact is Eric Clapton wrote Layla about Patty Boyd, which was George Harrison's wife, whom he was secretly in love with. Oh, scandal.
That was
Can I get the lyrics, please?
Absolutely. Tried to give you consolation when your old man had let you down. Like a fool, I fell in love with you. You turned my whole world upside down.
Wait, what's the chorus?
Layla, you've got me on my knees.
Yeah.
Oh,
Layla, I'm begging, darling.
Yeah.
In my knees,
okay.
Layla,
Yeah.
I'm begging, darling, please. Yeah, no, the song was inspired by a love story that originated in the 7th century Persian literature and later formed the basis of the poem, the story of Layla and Majnun.
That poem is also about two people who can't be together, but in that case it's because I think her dad won't let them get married.
Sure.
It's a little Romeo and Juliet.
Same thing here in that it's two people who can't be together because she's already married.
Her husband won't let them be together. That pesky husband.
Well, I mean, and mind you, it's about his friend's wife, so he's not gonna make it too obvious.
Yeah, that seems creepy enough.
I think it's true.
You think it's true? We all think it's true?
I'm gonna say it's true. Yeah.
Okay, that fact is true.
Nice.
It felt true.
So Eric Clapton did write Layla about George Harrison's wife, Patty Boyd, and Patty Boyd did eventually divorce George Harrison and get married to Eric Clapton. But they all had a good relationship, and I think Eric Clapton actually referred to George Harrison as his husband-in-law.
Wow.
Well, that's cool.
Ta-da!
Very polygamous.
Hotel California by the Eagles was inspired by a state mental hospital after Don Felder's relative had gone on like one expo and they came back completely different, and it was very wild.
Lobotomy!
And the Hotel California was the psych ward, basically.
Yes, it's a euphemism for the
Welcome to the
psych
Hotel
ward.
California.
Yeah.
It's a lovely
It's
place.
such a lovely place.
You can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. What's the beginning? On a dark desert highway. Cool breeze.
Cool wind in my hair, warm smells of
Calitas?
rising through the air.
That's either before or after the psych ward.
I would say before.
I'm gonna say false.
Okay.
Sure, brother.
But I also feel like it could be like just like a trip, like a drug trip. False.
Ooh.
Because I think it's less nuanced. Like I feel like it's really just like he did some drugs.
Guys, it turns out that that fact is false.
Ha!
There's a lot of conjecture about what that song is about. Some people do think it is about the literal Camarillo State Mental Hospital. Don Felder has said that the hotel in Hotel California is inspired by the Beverly Hills Hotel. He's explicitly said that the song is just meant to be about the underbelly of the industry in LA and their experiences kind of like coming from elsewhere to Los Angeles and kind of being transformed by what they experienced in the industry.
And not being able to get out of it. Paul McCartney dreamed the melody for Yesterday, but thought he might have subconsciously stolen it. So he went around asking people if they recognized it for a month before he committed to actually writing the lyrics.
Yesterday is one of those songs where I hear the melody so much and I cannot remember what it is. And I was like, where do I know this song from? So I could see him doing the exact same thing.
Yesterday. He went around for a month. And then, did he ask his bandmates?
He went around to people in the music business and asked them whether or not they had heard it before.
I'm feeling positive. Let's say it's true.
Let's end it on a good note.
For your knowledge, the substitute working lyric was titled Scrambled Eggs.
Well, now I'm feeling like false. Damn it.
We ball.
Guys, you're right, it's true.
Space Oddity by David Bowie was written after he was watching the Apollo 11 take off and land because he was worried something was going to happen to Neil Armstrong, the first guy to walk on the moon.
Ground control, main downtown.
You've really made the grade.
So it's about the takeoff.
Inspired by watching it happen.
Yeah, because they were having a lot of spaceships like blow up like on the way up and stuff. So this was like the big ones like during the Cold War, right? So if we landed on the moon, we kind of beat Russia. It wasn't even Russia, it was the Soviet Union. Yeah.
The facts again. I'm gonna say true.
I'm gonna say false.
I'm also gonna say false.
You know what gave it away? As he was saying it, he was tugging on his ear.
Okay, body language expert.
It's true!
That fact is false.
Yeah!
David Bowie was actually inspired to write the song after seeing 2001: A Space Odyssey.
He went stoned out of his mind to see the movie, and it really freaked him out. So he wrote Space Odyssey, and then he put it out there, but then it was like they wanted to rush it before it came out in case something bad happened.
They wanted to capitalize on the moon landing mission. The label rushed the release of the song in order to get it out in time for the moon landing. And in the UK, they actually played it during the moon landing broadcasts, basically until they realized what the lyrics were about. And they were like, oh, no, we're not doing that anymore.
Oh, never mind.
See, I'm telling you, it's artists going and seeing and experiencing things when they're high.
Are you ready to hear who our Rock Fact champion is?
Yes.
Our winner today is Izzy.
Whoa!
I knew it would happen. It is destined so.
Thanks for watching.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Let us know how you did in the comments.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And rock out, brothers.